and welcome back to Book Break. I am so excited. This week is officially our Modern Divination book club read-along week, and for today's video I am bringing you my reading vlog of Modern Divination by Isa Agajanian. Let me tell you, when I say I love this book, I am not lying. The moment that I heard that we were publishing this, I ran. I was like, Emma, I need a copy stat, and Emma was like, okay, cool, here you go. And quite literally handed me one of my favourite books of all time, and I didn't realise until I finished reading it. And so I really hope you enjoy this reading vlog. It's full of my actual reactions, my thoughts on the book as I go through. And so everything is happening in real time. What I'm reading, what I'm seeing is happening at that moment. And so it feels a little bit like a time capsule. It's capturing my thoughts and opinions on the book. The Modern Divination book club is still available. It's on Storygraph. So if you join that, you can join at any time. I will put the link in the bio to the Storygraph read along, but essentially if you decide to join, as you go through you can put in your page number, where you're up to, and it will unlock questions as you progress through the book. So you can see what other people have said, you can have your own discussion, and it's just a nice place to talk about a book that is so beautiful. So if you're interested in seeing what I have to say on the book, please keep watching. Obsessed with this book already. It's been 27 pages. We just got to chapter 2, and look, I have already like tabbed quite a lot for a singular chapter. Teddy? Theodore Ingram? No, that's not funny. I love him. He said 5 words. I love him. So what I've gathered so far, I'm going to do this non-spoiler, but I will just tell you the premise of what I've gathered since this is only a chapter. What I've gathered so far is that we have Aurelia Schwartz, and she is studying at Cambridge, but she also happens to be a witch. And from what it sounds like, witches aren't very known, first of all, and second of all, it sounds quite dangerous to be a witch. Like, you can tell she's really struggling with this internal battle of everybody she knows being human, and she's a witch. So she's really struggling with like keeping the lies and the deceits and all of that from people and not telling them. It's very clear that her magic is for some reason affecting her quite negatively. Like, she's feeling physically ill, which I don't think that's supposed to happen. So I'm going to keep reading now. Oh, and we've also been introduced to Theodore Ingram. Oh my god, it's been one chapter. This man has me kicking and screaming and giggling. I'm kicking my feet. It's just the like little like fancy seeing you here. I would be like speechless. But I wanted to show you, just before I get back into reading, my pen was falling out. My tabbing system. So these are the tabs that I've got. It's all of these ones, the purple ones at the top here. So I've got quotes, witches and magic, tension and falling in love, because I feel like we're gonna be using that one a lot. Plot twists or unexpected moments, dark academia vibes and descriptions. Since it is a dark academia book, I want to kind of keep track of all the places where it feels quite dark academia-esque. And then we have recurring motifs. I'm a big recurring motifs girly. So far it's been gold. That's something that I've picked up on, the idea of gold and magic being intertwined. We have a lot of pages to get through. I don't actually know much about this book. Like, we're going in blind together. I just know that I've seen so many people talk about this book. I want to know what's going on. I don't like to be in the dark, okay? I want to know. I want to be nosy. I'm loving it, guys. I'm really loving it. you're not. No, you're not. Oh my god, I just love him so much. Oh my god, Teddy Ingram, the man that you are. I'd be like kicking and giggling. I love them. I'm reading. I am reading ink on a page. And I'm like this. I'm here to talk to you. We're back. Let's talk about modern divination. Oh my god. Oh, wow. So, it's so good. So I'm currently on page 326. I had to stop yesterday on my train on the way into work. I had to stop reading because I ran out of tabs of one specific colour and I was like, this is not the time, because we've just got to such a pivotal point in the book where I was sat there and I was like, what do you mean? I can't keep reading, because I needed a tab for this one specific scene and I had none. It was a nightmare. Anyway, so my recurring motifs, which I'll talk about, gold. Gold comes up so much in this book. These are not spoilers, by the way. This is a no spoiler reading vlog, so don't worry. You'll just notice these things as you go through anyway. Gold is one that I just kept noticing and I was like, this is so interesting. And then later on in the book, something happens around the word gold and I'm like, oh, and I'm waiting for it to come back. I'm waiting for it to come back around because I feel like it has to. I just feel like it has to. There's also a lot of bird imagery in this, specifically with like, I think it's crows or ravens. I think it's crows. Like crows, blackbirds, ravens. There is a lot of imagery around that type of stuff. Liars. They are liars in this book, and I was tabbing it. I was like, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar, and I love it. And it's not like lying when you don't like it, when it's like, oh, just tell the truth. It's more of a, you're lying to yourself. Just like, and I love it. And I love that they're lying to themselves. Another motif that I haven't tabbed because it's only just occurred to me that this is a motif, but rain. The mention of rain, first of all, my favorite weather. Second of all, whenever rain is mentioned, it just brings me so much joy. And so reading in this book, and then the more it was mentioned, I was like, and I just think it's too late to start tabbing that now. So again, on a reread, I think I would probably have separate tabs for these things just to keep track of them. But obviously you don't know when you first go into a book. So let's talk about it a little bit now that I am like 100 pages out. No, I'm more than that. No, I'm like 150 pages out. 160, 180, around 200 pages. I'm a little while out from finishing. I think it's very clear and safe to say that this is an incredible book. I'm really enjoying it. For me, the main thing that I'm liking is how well Issa manages to balance plot and characters, because I think everybody seems to sway one way or the other. So for example, I am a character person. If I don't like a character in a book, I'm not going to care about the plot. If I love characters in the book, the plot becomes secondary to me. Whereas I know so many people who are like, that book has no plot, it's just like a character analysis or character driven, and they don't like it. Kind of like if you take, I'm trying to think of a book, Olivia Blake as a prime example of this. Not all of her books rely on the plot. They rely on characters' actions and knowing the character, which is very different from the plot. So for me, Issa really manages to have such a deep dive character analysis, figuring out why these characters are the way they are, why they lie to one another, how they feel about one another, building up these relationships, and not just like the romantic relationships. There are other characters around that you're starting to understand why they are the way they are. Then having the plot kind of at the forefront, but also surrounding them. It's hard to explain. It's like, I hope you understand what I'm saying here. It's great. I love it so much. Teddy Ingram, the man that you are. I just can't. Something else that is really fascinating to me, and I haven't had this in such a long time with a book, I just don't understand how these characters aren't real. Like, to me, they exist. They're in Cambridge. They're down south at Cambridge. They're chilling. Well, not chilling because there's some tension going on. And my brain can't comprehend that they don't exist, which I haven't had in a long time. It's great. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions. I've been talking for almost 10 minutes, so I do feel like you're bored. I'm kidding. Don't be. I've been talking for 10 minutes, so I feel like I have said my piece. Long story short, for them it was a bad time. Long story short, I survived. So I'll get back to you. I'm going to read some more. I'm hoping to finish this soon because I must know what's going on. And it's eating away at me that I don't. I'm like clawing at the bars of my enclosure. I'm like, oh my God, I need to know. So I'm hoping that I do. Should you read this book so far? Absolutely. If you like Olivia Blake or A Discovery of Witches, or what else? Vampire Diaries vibes, but no vampires, just witches. That type of, like that realm of media vibes. Pick up Modern Div. Okay, I'm going, now that I've replenished my tabs, to do some reading. Divination, because I think I've mentioned this twice. I'm obsessed with this book. Oh my God, okay, we have to talk about it. So now I have 100 pages left, which makes me really sad because I never want it to end, but we've just got to a point in the plot where everything seems to all of a sudden have picked up and kind of become a little bit crazy to the point where I had to put the book down and be like, what is going on? How is this happening? How are these events unfolding? And more importantly, how are they going to get out of this? Because I just couldn't see a way out of it for them. Teddy and Rory, obviously their relationship is developing, and it's just so interesting to me how real these fictional characters seem. They have such a humanity about them. And as I was reading, I was like, Isabella Agajanian's writing feels so realistic. And then when you move to the dialogue really does reflect how people talk to one another, and the reactions that these characters are having are how people in the day-to-day react to things. And so translating that into a book, into pieces of paper with ink on the page, you really feel this like tether to them, as though they are existing somewhere else and you just don't know them. But I feel like I know them so intrinsically. I'm loving the character development, but also how it's like the Taylor Swift line where it's like, I'll never change, but I'll never stay the same either. It does feel very much like that. You're seeing this development of character, but they are so themselves from like when you first were introduced to them in Tesco. Just seeing how they take on their problems and the situations that they have to be in to fix is really fascinating, because it opens up so many avenues of the people they could become and the characters that they could turn into. Then I forgot that they were academic rivals for a good portion of this, and let me tell you, there was a line, I just have to read this. This isn't a spoiler, but it really made me giggle, because I was like, this is what I mean when I say I love academic rivals. And it's such a hard trope to find. They're basically like non-spoiler, but they're talking about how academic both of them are and like how intelligent. And Rory says, "That's stupid," she said, which made him frown. "You have top marks at one of the most rigorous academic institutions in the world. Second to you," he says. "Stop that," she pleaded, and the tension in his jaw softened. "You know you're doing better than almost anyone in our program. I don't understand how they could see you as anything but successful." Just the fact that at the beginning they were so at each other's throats with academia, and now she's saying like, "You're super clever," and he's like, "Second to you," and she's like, "Shut up." Just the back and forth of that. I feel like academic rivals are such a hard trope to get right, and in this book it's very subtle. It happens more at the beginning of the book, but just having that little thread throughout there, it keeps coming back to the fact that they're both really clever and they're both trying to get some satisfaction of being the most intelligent is really great, because it just reminds you of, again, where they come from and how they have changed, but they've also stayed the same. All of this to say, I hope you're okay, but you're the reason. No, all of this to say, this book, I'm like, number one, how is it going to be a duology? Like, how is this going to end? Because this is going to be a duology. How is this book going to end? And yes, this means I'm going to have to wait longer than a year, because this book comes out in January. It's December. I've done this to myself, I know, but I don't know how I'm going to wait for a year. And I just don't know how it's going to end. And I'm really scared it's going to hurt me and rip my heart out. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm feeling stressed, but I'm loving it. But I'm only feeling stressed because I just don't want it to end. And this will be a great TV show too. Like, if any TV show people are watching, you should go pick this up and make it into a TV show. I'll be back when I know what happens. This is me in ignorance, and wait till I have the knowledge of what happens. I could be a very different person. I'm not doing well. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is not fun. It's great, but it's really sad. Oh my god, the whole time I've been like, I love when they lie to one another. I hate this. I hate this. That was the reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed, but before we finish, I just wanted to give you a roundup of my thoughts on what I felt towards the book. I love Rory. I think she is a great female lead, and she feels so real to everything that I feel in my life, towards academia, towards the outside world, and all the struggles that she faces. And seeing her interact with Teddy, for me, they had such an interesting dynamic, because on the one hand they had this academic rivalry, which I eat up every single time. If they are academic rivals, I am going to read about it. And because of the academic rivalry, it felt like Teddy got past it and Rory couldn't. She always felt the need to just try and be better constantly, when she didn't realize that the person that she was, as she was enough. And seeing Teddy just love her for who she was, it was so heartwarming. It felt very hopeful as well. Theodore Ingram, the man that you are, he just cared so deeply about Rory, and he cared so much about Louisa and wanting to find Gemma. And I think having the overall plotline of being these two characters, one of them is in serious danger, she is being hunted by a witch hunter, having that as your main plot, and then all of these undercurrents, having the romance subplot that felt so tense at times that I was like, oh my god, I am literally going to commit a federal crime if these two do just not admit their feelings. I need you to tell each other that you love one another, because I'm screaming. I'm having heart palpitations, okay? Sorry. There's just so much richness to this book. It's exactly what I look for in a dark academia fantasy. This is, to me, the epitome of the genre. And so I cannot wait to read the second book. I've not felt this way towards a book in so long, and I just love Issa's writing, Issa's characters, the world that Issa builds is just beautiful. If you did enjoy this reading vlog, please give us a like, please subscribe, and like I said, the links to the book club will be down below in case you have decided to pick it up, which you totally should. We will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.